mean, in Google search algos, it's ranked high, man. BBBY is definitely being attacked, and there's a lot of eyeballs on this.
Yeah. Do you mind if we bring in a guest, Plur?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go ahead and welcome PlanetAid. Chat, please give a warm welcome to PlanetAid, and let's see what's going on, man. Planet.
Hey, gentlemen.
We can hear you, man. What's going on?
Not much. I really appreciate you guys and the platform. You guys are great. I got onto you guys after, Riddick. I was on the BBBY. Cool. Couldn't post. I didn't have the camera. Found you guys and just love it. Love all the guests and all the knowledge.
Right on,
man. I've been with this play since like July.
Okay.
And yeah, so really, really early. Like I got on board because of RC and kind of like the whole thing when he was going to spin off part of GME, and then it kind of ran. Same thing, like Bye Bye Baby was the hidden gem of this whole thing. And I started off with like, I don't know, $300,000 I put into it. And then bought like at $8 or $9, sold at 11, rebought at 9, had like 43,000 shares, went to $30, had like $1.2 million in it. And then I just kept it the whole way. And then, break it down to now, like I've been averaging down, bought at 5, but I bought at $1.30.
So you wrote it down from 1.2 mil to what?
To shit. What do I get now? Like not much, but yeah, exactly. So right now I have 432,000 shares at $1.40.
Fantastic, man. That's a great average.
Yeah,
that's a good average.
Yeah, so I've been buying the whole way down. So you almost have to at this point, and it's not like you're gonna sell,
Yeah.
So like there's so many layers to this, it's insane. So I posted something on your show earlier, a little poll, and I think that they're gonna come in with, I think the stock and horse bid is gonna be Icahn, and I believe that because of the post that the two of them, the picture together with them, I think they're in play together. Or why would that even be around? So I think that he was shorting GME. I think they had a plan to stop shorting GME. I believe with Noel and West Point Homes, I think he's involved in BBBY, and then he can take the tax credits. But I think he's going to spin off Baby to RC. That's what he wants. And then they're going to sell it on America and then use the tokenized stocks on the Teddy. But and I also think that they're going to, like, if you saw my post earlier, they're going to put a high number on it, I believe, because if they shut off the buy button, say they even put it at $3, $2, and then everybody, shuts off the buy button, then everyone's going to be froze out at that number. So I think that with Hudson Bay being the proxy for Icahn, I think he owns like 90% or 0.75% of the whole company. And then he's been buying up. Yeah, and then they figure, well, he's buying up all the bonds. If he comes in with a high number and then they carve out, one share of BBBY for Baby, then it's going to force them to locate the shares for all of us that own shares. Yeah. And that's exactly what they're going to do. And then thus they're going to have, and if they put a time limit on this after the judge's final decision, give it a week, then I believe they have a certain time limit to close out the positions and locate the shares. I think the shorts are going to be screwed. I think even the brokers are going to be screwed because they'll be at a higher number than it's actually really worth. And then it's going to keep running. And then either Icahn can sell or they can do at the market offer and get back the money they put in.
So,
for sure.
What do you, for instance, like, like you have your investment. I mean, what are you thinking, man, in terms of how we're coming up onto this next week or the week after? Clearly you seem to have you seem to believe there's some kind of connection between IEP and also Bed Bath & Beyond. What do you think's happening, man? Like you just like you said, you think he's kind of taking over the bonds and slowly acquiring the company, and he's going to be the main person who provides the capital, and then we may see other investors. What do you think about the TSO then, and also the float? I mean, what are your opinions on that?
I think there's 430 million. I think the 700. I think they're going to recall that. Like they said, they can change that, and I think there isn't 700. I believe there's 450 million. I think Icahn owns the 300 from Hudson Bay.
That'd be fucking nuts, man. The flow would be like 117 million, man. Fuck, we'd be fucking rich, man. All right, no questions asked.
And that's why they say this play is going to be the Moss, and they're going to what did Icahn say? He's going to pay back or whatever because they attacked his company. That's all part of it. That's in my opinion. That's all part of it. It makes sense to me. And it's billionaires versus billionaires. And if the play plays out, it's going to be crazy because of all the banks are going to be tied in it. The hedge funds are going to be tied into it. Like basically the world's economy is going to be tied into this. And I think they learned after GameStop, and I think they're using BBBY as the battleground.
All right.
And I think they had to force it into bankruptcy to get this play. I think originally it started, he was going to carve out Baby in August. And then that guy, Jake Freeman, that fake guy, he sold, it was basically a hedge fund. He sold that position. It forced RC that he was going to become an insider. He couldn't make a play to carve out the company because now it's insider trading. He was forced to sell his position. So they went to plan 2. Then he was going to take it over in August. And then JP Morgan blocked them and froze their assets. And then because it didn't make sense, every time it was going to run, they had an at-the-market offer. And I was like, what the hell? Just let it go. And then you can do at-the-market offer, see where it goes.
It was bizarre, right? It was like this constant keep raising money. Like it was very odd because I've been here with you, man. You know, you were in July, I came in August. So like not that much later than you, a month later, right? And I saw the same shit. I saw the stock would start to run. They'd cut it back down. First, it started with, it was like Ryan Cohen selling, and it was like selling during the cycle. Boom. That was the first cut down. Then in January, run again from like $1 to almost $6. Boom, they cut it down again, right? Then a month later in February, we go from like $2.30 to a $7 top. Boom, they cut it down again. They have this obsession to not let the stock run. Why? Because most likely they wouldn't be able to do an acquisition if the stock was running $200-$300 a share. Even if it squeezed the 300 a share and it came back down 150, 140 a share, it would still be too high for them to even acquire it. So to me, it does scream. I mean, look, it sounds fucking insane to say the entire play was meant to go to OTC. Maybe it was, right? I mean, look, this is the price action has been pretty decent since we've got to OTC. There's none of this fucking married options and put bullshit that we see anymore. And really the only thing is kind of organic kind of sells and buys and things like that. Although it's still suppressed, I think we're getting closer and closer. Like we're inching our way to the very end. All it takes is a mention of an acquisition, a price per share. That's the buyout. And there you go. The stock's going to quite literally automatically go to that price. And then we will see covering most likely from shorts thereafter. And the stock may end up squeezing to parabolic fucking highs for all we know. Right. Yeah.
I think so. I think they're still borrowing shares and then dumping them to keep the price down. I think they're hanging on for every day, and I think they're stuck, and they don't know how to get out of it. I think they're going to ask the government to help. I think there's going to be some shenanigans, but it's out of their hands. It's not in the FTC or the SEC. It's in the bankruptcy court, and that's where they need it to be because they can't rely on the government to help them or make the law. They'll just pay the fines. So they needed to get to this position, and I think they had a deal in. He had a chance to buy, carve it out. And like I said, JP Morgan froze our assets and they couldn't pay payroll. They needed this thing to disappear. And they're too smart. Icahn and RC are too smart for that. And I think Larry Chen's in it. I think Brett's in it. I think that's why Brett had to leave the board of Noel. He's going to be on the board.
Think
so, yeah. Like everything just seems to make sense. There's a lot of tinfoil, but that's what I believe in. And I put my money where I believe in. So we'll see what happens. Like, your guess is as good as mine, but I'm in. Man. So
you heard it from fucking PlanetAid, man.
You mind if I got a PlanetAid, dude? You're freaking awesome. Thanks for being to eloquently speak on the tokenized stocks. And I pretty much talked about like their creation and what they're for, based off like a algo Citadel kind of like what they're looking at it. But the fact that it could be weaponized on both sides is actually very intriguing to me. And then in terms of mentioning Jake the Snake Freeman. Good eyes on your part on that. I saw that too. Originally in March, when Cohen wrote to the board, and then earlier on, I have it in my notes somewhere. I'm just not going to look up right now. Jake Freeman tried his bond arbitrage play. So it seems like from that March all the way to that August sell-off, there was definitely things going on behind the scenes. And then the rumor, Jake the Snake having, some sort of ties to Citadel based off hearsay, which I'm sure there's some truth to it.
Yeah.
And then what you mentioned too, the ATMs. I think it was in September. It was whenever the price was $5 a share. Everything during one of the ATMs, and obviously the price kept going down based on what PPC said. Like the board just let it ride down for whatever strategic reason that they saw to do that. But Jeffries, the same folks who I think January 16th, they raised the price target for GME right before that January 21st to 26th run or whatever it was. They gave a $9 price target to Bed Bath Beyond like back in September 2022. So I think you're absolutely right. I think the stock was supposed to run, but this thing is so big that it's like a Sun Tzu war game, and it's just different manipulations on all sides. Obviously, I'm just retail, watching from the sidelines, but the fact that you mentioned this stuff just helps me recollect my memory of the experience that I've had on this ride. You were in just like a month before me, so it's just crazy being here where we are now. But the fact you got it to $1.40, to me, I'm freaking impressed. That's amazing. Yeah, especially the more money you put in, the harder it is to bring down. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, yep. And then I see everyone's average at like whatever 30 cents, 25 cents. Is like, oh, what the hell? If I, you know what I mean? If I invested now, like, where would I be at? I would be with like Sun and those guys,
right.
You know.
But they're still taking a big risk, right? You know, even getting in at 20 cents, 15 cents. I mean, people are still putting their money where it's at. And, you know, I still think the risk is still there. So, you know, take some balls, man, to buy that low.
Oh, yeah. And we're all in it together. Like you said, 1 share, 10 shares, it's all the same, man. We're all together. So, like, so anyways, God bless everybody here. And we'll see. Like I said, I think so. I think it's going to be on next week. And if it's not another delay, I think, and it's funny, one more point. So, like, it's coming out the 16th, but the judge's final decisions, like the 26th, GME had the earnings report a week early, like the day before, the day after. Bed Bath & Beyond supposed to have the earnings report right around that time. I think they delayed that. I think there's a lot more money in their accounts, and they couldn't disclose that because the stock would run again. So I think there's a lot more money in there because of all those subscriptions they had and the holiday sales and crazy people like me and my wife going there before we go to Amazon. I think RC, I think that's going to be a surprise, BBBY's earnings calls. And I think RC is going to go after Amazon. And I think that's why Kenny met with Bezos down at the Formula One down in Miami. I think they're meeting and they're trying to squash this thing too. Cool. So I think we're going to get hit from every angle. So I don't know. I think these guys are well prepared, and we'll just have to buckle up and see what happens.
All right. You heard it from PlanetAid, man. Thanks for coming on the PP Show, man. We loved hearing your opinion.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Take care, man.
Bye.
What a cool dude.